Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and it looks like the aftermath of last night's episode has people talking, and it's not just us, okay? So we got to talk about what Chris Bassett had to say about Gizelle Bryant's story about him and her going back to their room after the reunion for last year, okay? In which Gizelle now is saying is making her, or made her at the time, feel uncomfortable. We're going to finally hear from Chris straight from his own mouth. And we're also going to, well, Karen is clapping back and gathering the girls. So we'll just have to talk about that when we get to it. But first things first, we got to talk about Chris Bassett, okay? So after last night's episode and watching Candiace confront Gizelle, it appeared as though Chris had some things to get off his chest. Now, shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk for capturing this, and we'll take a listen and hear what he has to say for himself.
So we get to your room and there's no glam in there. There's nobody in there. You are an adult, and a very vocal one at that. You have no problem holding back how you feel. So when you open the door and there's nobody in there, and you know that you have this feeling, this thing that you don't like, why didn't you say in that very moment, the second you open the door, oh, there's nobody in here. Hey, you know what? There's nobody here. I don't really feel comfortable talking about this. Can we do this another time? I mean, you asked me to leave to go check and see if they were in. I left immediately then. So I don't know.
So they're both corroborating the story that she asked him to leave, and he did in fact leave. So he just basically kind of corroborated that part of the story.
Why wouldn't you just say no right then?
But he's also asking, why didn't you just say no when you knew that there was no one in the room at that point as well?
That's where I'm hung up on. Like, this is an issue that you have, a feeling that you have that I don't know about. Much like I have never told you I'm very uncomfortable with you talking about this every season. But you do.
Well.
But I've never said anything. So I can't be mad at it because I've never said anything. I'm not going to ask her for an apology. But I've never said anything. But again, if you really felt that way, like you said something to Robyn that night, that's what you said. So why didn't you call Candiace the next day?
That's a very good question as well.
Next week, 2 weeks later, a month later, why did you wait 5 months until there was a camera rolling to say that? Why? You know, everybody talks. I'm going to talk about that either, but whatever. And I see a lot of, she needed a storyline. Yeah. If she did that for a storyline, that's really sad. And I feel sorry for her. Like, if that's the best you have to offer, maybe this isn't your platform. I don't know. Clearly, I thought I knew somebody that I was friendly with, that we were friends. But clearly what I thought was not Gizelle is a friend of. Jesus Christ.
Not a friend of. Lord have mercy. Okay. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I mean, I, for one, have been kind of waiting to hear, what he had to say, because a lot of this has been about him. And he hasn't really had much of a platform to really speak about it in terms of what we've seen on the show. We saw a little bit of what he thought, but we haven't really heard his opinions about it as much recently. So it was good to kind of see him get out there and also defend his name, because honestly, it is his name that's in question at this point. It's his name and his reputation, which could also, lead to his job and his work. And there are a lot of implications that could come about as a result of this. So I do think he has to defend himself in this situation. Some people feel like he should just apologize and move on. And I think that that could have possibly happened had it not been for the idea that it was also that he was an alleged sneaky link, and that he was also allegedly trying to see if she was with it because he was complaining about his wife, as Gizelle alleged in the episodes. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below. Does Chris have every right to speak out about this situation? What do you guys think? Let a brother know. Now, let's get into Karen gathering the girls. So after last night's episode, Karen had some things to unload off of her chest. Oh, yes. And so she states, "Look here, you hard 40-ish person. You know who you are. You should know by now that your age shaming and bullying tactics, when applied to me, only serve to lift me higher. Hashtag Ladams, rise and keep on winning. Hashtag Real Housewives of Potomac." Now, we know that in the past, you know, Karen Huger has called Robyn a hard 40 looking. And we also know that last night it was Robyn who also said that, you know, asked if Karen kept getting her own room because she was old, or older, I should say, than the rest of the ladies. So that is where the age shaming part came in, I'm assuming, based on this tweet right here. Let us know in the comment section, do you think she was speaking about Robyn? She didn't name her by name. I mean, but I think it's pretty obvious based on past interactions and what was said in the episode and then this response, okay? But not to mention, she's not only gathering the Robyn Dixon, she's also gathering the Charrisse, okay? So Karen posted this on her Twitter as well. She says, "Often imitated, never duplicated. April 2022. Watch what happens live. Real Housewives of Potomac." Now, so if Karen is saying this was April 2022, that's when I think her show was premiering on the network. So that would explain why she might have been on Watch What Happens Live. So as we see here, this is Charrisse wearing a similar ensemble, okay, for her confessional for the Real Housewives of Potomac, as we saw last night. So Karen, I guess, is suggesting that she wore it first, okay, and then Charrisse is coming in from behind. You know, it's a great look for both ladies. What can I say? What can I say? They both look amazing. I mean, and there it is. Let us know your thoughts. This is the kind of shade we like to see. Nothing too deep, nothing too twisted, just a little bit of light shade here and there. I like this type of stuff because I feel like this is kind of why we watch Housewives in anyway, for a little fun shade like this. Let me know what you guys think about these stories in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next video.